Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and we are very quickly approaching the end of November, which means the beginning of December, and another one of my favorite projects, which would be December Daily. So, December Daily is a project I believe that was started by Ali Edwards, and basically it's documenting every day in December, or I like to do up to Christmas, and sometimes it's documenting traditions that you do that month, sometimes it's everyday life. It's just kind of the whole holiday theme and having it be in one album. This will be, I think, my 4th year doing December Daily, and I'm going a different direction. Normally I buy the Felicity Jane December Daily kit. It is gorgeous, I love it. I decided to go a different way this year. But what I want to do in this video is get prepped for December Daily. And for me, that means going through all of the supplies that I have on hand. These are goodies that were just pulled aside for December Daily in the past. I have my new December Daily album, some new goodies, and a lot of different papers and things that I want to pull out so that I can use. So I thought I would bring you guys along on how I'm going to just kind of get organized for December Daily. I think it's important to go through your stash and see what you have. One, so you don't go buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need. And two, just so you can be reminded of what you have available so you'll be able to pull it out when it's time to start documenting. And I'll kind of show you how I like to get set up for success. So with that, I think I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and add a voiceover later in case this gets a little bit bogged down. I don't want it to be a super long video. I'll link supplies that I can find down below if you're interested in checking those out. Otherwise, let's go. All right, I am going to start with the papers. So I think it's really important to choose a cohesive look for your December Daily album. Yes, it's fine to have a few like outlier pieces that you just fall in love with, but I like to have most of my supplies coordinate because that just makes it easier when I am scrapping. It makes it easier to make decisions because I know the pieces are going to coordinate, which is why in general I go with just one collection. I know with December, especially if you celebrate Christmas, there are of course some traditional colors. This one is a little bit more of a mixed media feel, but it's not going to be the mess of mixed media because the papers are already done. So I'm sticking with that Vicky Bouton Warm Wishes paper pad, and then I'm going through my other papers and choosing ones that have the same tones or that are super neutral that I'll be able to layer with. I'm not really going to deal with scraps necessarily. I have enough full-size papers to just kind of pick out the full-size ones and go for it, and I'll just save my scraps for other Christmas projects. Now, the things that I'm not including in my December Daily kind of kit that I'm putting together, I will keep in a separate stash because of course I have a lot of Christmas themed projects in December. You can see all of these Christmas papers, and so I can draw from different resources in that way, but I just want all of the things that I plan to use for December Daily all in one place so it's easy to grab and easy to start working on. The few scraps that I did end up pulling are actually vellum scraps just because I don't have that much vellum. I think it's really fun to layer vellum over pictures in a December Daily album. And then I had a few pages from Felicity Jane that will fit into my Vicky Bouton album. So I'm going to pull those out and kind of put them all together, and we'll deal with the album in just a little bit. So I have the vellum pulled out. I have some pages ready to go. These are some puffy stickers that go from the Vicky Bouton line, and now I'm looking through all of the extra goodies. So I have a bunch of ephemera. I keep my ephemera for December Daily. I keep them in collections because I want to make sure they go together, and I have them in CD holders, which I think works really well because it's clear on the front and you can see what you have to deal with. So I'm gathering a few alphas. I have these red ones here, and I have all of these puffy stickers. I can go through and pull out some black alphas, which I might do, but I just don't often use red, so I want to try to use those as much as possible. These are some glassine bags, but you can see I'm keeping aside the ones that are in these pinks and teals because those are not the colors that are in my December Daily album. So I'm just putting those to the side and going through and seeing what might match. This is just full of all kinds of odds and ends, and my goal is going to be to use up some of these sticker sheets that have been sitting here half used for a couple years. I'm going to try to use them all. I have a few little tags, some puffy confetti stickers. I have some actual confetti that I will be using in different pocket pages. See, I'm looking to decide, nope, those don't really go. I'll use them for different projects. Same with these glassine bags. These are all kind of different colors that I'm not planning on using December daily. These are all dimensional things. That's one of the things I love about December daily is that I don't often do dimensional pieces. So it's fun to get to include them in this album and just make it super big and puffy. I absolutely love it. Earlier in the fall, I did order a bunch of pieces from the Vicky Bouton Warm Wishes line, and that included a couple of different packs of ephemera, and all of those are in one of these little drawers. So I'm going to pull those out. I also have some leftover ephemera from I think that was a Hip Kit Club subscription. Now I have all of these pieces that are all from the same line, but I'm going to sort through them. First thing I'm doing is sorting out some larger tag pieces from the rest, just so that the tags are kind of separate. Those are going to be larger elements on the page, so I would need those separate, and I need to go through those first when I'm assembling a page, just because they're going to take up a lot of room. And then I'm going to further sort this into, we'll have a large stack of tags, a large stack of words like script words or ephemera pieces that have primarily words on them, and then I will do florals or foliage in a separate pile. And this just makes it easy for me to grab. Now I could have kept these all together and that would have been fine, except that I just want to know what I usually know what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. So I'm pulling out all of these. I'm also going to do, let's see, foliage. We have some icons and things over to the side, and then we'll have different words that come up later on. So I think I might divide this into 4 separate categories. And again, this pre-sorting might seem a little tedious, but it serves 2 purposes. It's going to be super organized. When I sit down to start scrapping, I'll know where everything is. I'll be able to grab what I'm looking for. It also, I sort through it several times, and that is helping me familiarize myself with this new collection. This is a ton of ephemera pieces. I happen to really love ephemera, use it all of the time on these pages, and I want to know what's in there. And so going through these multiple times makes it easier for me to be able to tell what is in there. It'll come to my memory a little bit faster as I'm scrapping. So you can see now I have some different piles. I have some different tabs going on. I have the words, I have tags. There's just all kinds of sorting going on for the ephemera, and this probably takes the longest. I have some other ephemera collections pulled out, some previous Felicity Jane ones that are in these classic Christmas colors, and a couple of others that I don't remember which brand they were, but they're in these more traditional Christmas colors, so I know that they will mix well with the Vicky Bouton line. And as you can see, I didn't spend a ton. This is one of the reasons I did not pick up the Felicity Jane kit this year, because I already have a ton of supplies. And I did spend a little bit on the Vicky Bouton line because I wanted a cohesive feeling throughout the album, so I wanted to kind of start from there, but it wasn't nearly as much as buying the Felicity Jane kit. And I want to try to use what I have, use it as much as I can, and then maybe next year I'll go back to Felicity Jane, because I really do love those kits. I think they're gorgeous and beautiful, and those of you using Felicity Jane, that'll be perfect. But I wanted to change it up a little this year. All right, that is some plaid paper that I bought at Hobby Lobby that I thought would be a good basis, very traditional looking, like I said before. A few more glassine bags. I'm cleaning out a few pieces. I have a ton of cards left over from previous years and from Project Life kits, and I think it might be time to like wrap up my Project Life cards. I don't like the rounded corners on those cards, so I might be ready to kind of let those go. All right, the next thing I'm going to do to prep are cut apart these pages. These were in the Warm Wishes collection, and they are the faux washi pages, the tags. I'll cut apart the 3x4 cards and the 4x6 cards, and this just makes it easier for me to grab when I'm ready to sit down. So I know I wanted to cut these pages anyway, so might as well go ahead and get them ready to go. And then with the tags and cards, I like to go ahead and put them into my album. It might seem crazy, and I do end up changing my mind every now and then, but it helps me to not start with a completely blank album. I will be going ahead and putting in some different pages, kind of sporadically placing cards just to give me a jumping off point. December is a crazy busy month. So for my family, we have a lot of church activities. Of course, it's Christmas, so we have Christmas activities. It's my anniversary, my husband's anniversary. This year will be our 13th wedding anniversary, and there's just a lot going on. And sometimes when I sit down to scrap, I'm just tired, I'm lacking in inspiration, and having the pages kind of already set, I wouldn't go as far as to call them foundation pages because there's not really much to it, but having the cards in place gives me a jumping off point. And so at least when I open it up, I can say, I like it, I don't like it. And that way I can just go from there. And if I'm wanting to scrap but feeling a little bit more uninspired than normal, then I can kind of have that to get started. With this Vicky Boutin album came these pages that were pre-punched. They don't have page protectors, and they kind of fit a little bit tight on the rings. I kind of wonder if they were punched incorrectly. They're gonna work, it's just a little tight to get started. And I'm going to just kind of go every other one or every third. I'm gonna sprinkle the pages through the album. Now, a reason I love having pages that are outside of page protectors in my December daily album is because it lets me play with trims and dimension as much as I want, and I don't have to worry about it fitting back into a page protector. I can create tip-ins easily on these pages and pockets and all kinds of fun things. It really allows me to play with my creativity when it's not in a page protector, but then it's nice to have these pocket pages as well. These are divided up in some different formats with like 2 3x4s on the top and a 4x6 on the bottom, 4 3x4s, and then 2 4x6s, just all the different formats for a pocket page. I sprinkle those in as well because to me those pages go a little bit faster, and I sometimes move them around for times when I'm a little bit busier but I do want to document that day, and so I can just do a few pocket pictures and that page comes together pretty easily. All right, now that all of the pages are in, the next thing I'm going to do is flip to the front and then start putting in some of the cards. And we're going to stick with the Warm Wishes cards. I'm actually not going to use the tags quite yet. I'll add those in a different way as it goes on, but I'll just add in a few cards here and there. I forgot I had this one little pocket card thing that was left over from a Felicity Jane kit, and that'll be fun to kind of stick in there. Again, dimension, interactive elements in a December daily album are one of my favorite parts. So this is one of the reasons I love using one system or one scrapbook line, is because I know that these are going to go together. Yes, I try to make sure that the colors coordinate page to page, but a lot of these cards I will back up with different scrapbook paper than what's on the back, or there might be a photo on the back. It'll change up as I go, but going ahead and putting these in, kind of spreading out whether or not it has words on it towards a blank one, it kind of gives me some inspiration to get started on this album. And so I love just going ahead and putting them in, and that way it's like I said before, a great jumping off point. I do have a few cards from previous years. Any of them that are rounded are from Project Life, and again, those are not my favorite. I think it might be time to get rid of those or try to use them up in some other project. If you're a Project Life dropout, like I like to call myself, let me know what you use your other Project Life cards for. They just don't, the rounded corners don't match the cards that I would normally use on anything else, and so I don't quite know what to use those particular cards for. So I have a couple of cards that say December 25th. You can see I'm just trying to figure out what will match right there. I'll save those December 25th for the end. I usually stop December daily. I document through December 25th, through Christmas Day, and then I give myself the last week of December off. I love that week because it feels like the nothing week, the relaxing week, the prepping for a new year week. I just absolutely love that week, and we will be in Texas, and so I will have a lot to document, and that'll go in my regular memory planner, but not in my December daily album. I don't think. I might change my mind, and that's the beauty. I can add more to this ring album pretty easily. All right, so I'm putting all of these cards out. I've got it all in the album ready to go, got my supplies sorted, and let me give you a little preview of what I have. Okay, so I am prepped. One of the reasons I love prepping is because it helps me wrap my head around the project and it shows me what I still need to get. So two things that I discovered I still very much need would be numbers. I either need to cut out numbers for the days of December with my Cricut, or go purchase some pre-cut numbers. So I like to have consistent numbers throughout the album. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I still need would be some white cardstock. I want to have some white cardstock pages that are cut out, ready to go to put into some of these page protectors, also to just add in. This is starting out pretty thin. It tends to get thicker as we go and add more fluff to it. So we'll see kind of how it comes together. So numbers and cardstock are two things I need. I do like to go ahead and prep where some of the cards are going to go just to give me a starting off point. And then once I get the numbers, I'll put them in there as well. I have all my supplies in my December daily kind of packet. This is papers that are that I'm planning on using, some loose ones. This will be my primary paper pack, the Vicky Bouton paper pack. I have some dimensional stickers in vellum, stamps, stencil, just some extra dimensional things right here, a few confetti pieces and tags, and then this is all different paper pieces by different collections, which may seem like they're hard to get to. I also plan on keeping this out and ready to go so that when I want to look through a particular collection, I can just easily like dump it out into this thing and then be able to look through as I'm creating, and then I'll gather it all back up and put it back in so that it stays nice and organized. So I think I am getting ready. I'm getting excited. It's a big project. It's sometimes an overwhelming project to work through December daily. I always enjoy it when it's over, meaning I really love having these albums. It really means the world to me. My kids love looking through the albums. I do enjoy the process of making it. I think that sometimes I put pressure on myself to finish it like right after December is done. And so we're traveling some this year, thankfully, now that COVID is letting up ever so slightly. So we will be traveling. So that will probably delay how much I'm able to work on December daily in the month of December, but that's okay. I think the fun is in having the finished album, and I do want to have fun as I work through the album and document our December. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I will link some of the supplies that I'm planning on using down below if you're interested in checking any of those out. I also want to give a huge shout out to my Scrappy YouTube members. Thank you so much for all of your support. Other than that, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.